All right, hey, how y'all doing, folks? Chris Harris here, another episode of Buck Sweet Sports Podcast, presented to you by A10 Studios. Shout out to A10 Studios, Miss Tamika. Be sure, if you haven't already done so, swing by the page, give them a like, follow, check out all the different videos. A lot of great people over there, great content. You'll find something that you enjoy. But if you're here, appreciate you guys joining me today. Got a couple of special guests today. Um, First off, want to introduce my homeboy, man. We go way back, all the way back to Sanson Middle School, football, Coach Strick, Monkey Rolls, the Hill of Death. He's an associate pastor at Rivers of Life in Fayetteville, North Carolina. Had that job for about the last 2 years now. Really good friend of mine, Mr. Odell Register. Odell, welcome to the show, bro.
Hey man, glad to be here. Thanks for having me, man. To God be the glory.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And my other guest, young up and coming coach in the Greensboro area. His kids like to call him Coach Juan, first year coach at Western Guilford, running back coach for the varsity team, offensive coordinator for JV, assistant offensive coordinator for varsity, big time Philadelphia Eagles fan. Coach
Sir.
Juan, man, welcome to the show. Appreciate you joining me, man.
Hey, appreciate you for having me, man. It's a pleasure to come on your platform and have a chance to talk with you, talk sports with
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So for my listeners, first time here, man, appreciate you coming on. This is your spot for all local college and pro sports talk. Mainly, we talking Clan Dark Horses, we talking North Carolina Tar Heels, Carolina Panthers, and anything else that's going on in the sports world. Start off today with a little bit of high school talk. If you been paying attention this last week, you know what the news is, what's been going on with as far as Corey
you.
Johnson and situation with Clear High School. Like I said, man, I pretty much spoke my piece on the situation. Definitely catching a little bit of heat. One thing I would like to address. I want to apologize if I offended any Clinton High School soccer players or parents by one of my comments. It wasn't meant to be offensive. I was just trying to kind of, I guess when you come something in your head and when it comes out your mouth, it don't come out quite right. But just trying to, compare a situation as far as comments that were said about Corey Johnson compared to what happened with the soccer team during their playoff run. Definitely wasn't the same things being said about him. But once again, like I want to say, just apologize for that. I guess the thing that made me mad, and I guess y'all, I'm pretty sure I've talked to y'all about this, man. I sat up there and talked for almost an hour, and that's the one thing you came away with. Like, come on. I mean, that's you talk about selective hearing, but I mean, it is what it is. Like I said, I apologize for that. I'm in no way, shape, or form in the business of you know, insulting our student athletes, man, because it's not it's not their fault. It's some of the stuff that's been going on. So just wanted to get that out the way. Um, as far as that situation is concerned, congratulations to Corey Johnson, man. Like I told y'all, I wasn't going to ruin his news. I waited for him to wait for the news to break. He is now head coach at Marlboro County in South Carolina. So congratulations to him. That's a big move for him and his family. And I mean, he's getting exactly what he deserves. So shout out to Coach. And like I said, I'm not going to really speak as far as the what happened with the Clinton administration. I mean, I said my piece. Is what happened shouldn't have happened. Shouldn't have ended that way. But it is what it is. Um, Guys, if you guys have any comments as far as that situation goes, I'll leave it to I'll give the floor to y'all. Speak your piece, or whoever wants to go first.
Uh, I I won't say too much on it. Like you said, congratulations to him. The move to Marlboro County. Um, it's definitely gonna be a tough role for Clinton to fill. Uh, the way that I had a brother that played for him, so I was able to see firsthand the way he was in the community, the way he was with the players, and how loved he was by the players. And I'm telling you, my brother will run through a wall for Coach Johnson. So, on one hand, and I have another brother in high school now. So on one hand, I'm glad to see him, go to Marlboro County. Uh, but also on the other hand, sad to see him leave Clinton, because my brother won't have, the same thing that my brother previously had, getting to experience Coach Johnson. But man, like just a great guy in the community from, what I heard and like what I've seen from my brother. And then when it came to X's and O's on the field, to me, one of the best coaches in North Carolina in high school football. That game against Northeastern where he slowed the game down because Northeastern was a high-powered offense all year long. But the way he went to that game and slowed that game down to limit their possessions was, and I talked about it while the game was going on. It was a offensive masterclass, Coach Johnson. And then, the week before that against, I think it was Northern Nash, uh, that was the
Yep.
first time Clinton got tested all year. And,
Oh yeah.
when
Yeah.
you have we have a coach that players want to play for, those moments come up and they feed off of the coach's energy. And you could tell when they feed off the coach's energy. And though that was their first time they'd been tested all year, and I'm sure it was some nervous Clinton fans, in the stands. Those
Oh
guys,
yeah.
those guys, those kids never looked. They never looked at Johnson. Never looked at Hunt. The whole coaching staff never looked like that they were nervous about what was going on. And man, it's gonna be a tough. It's gonna be a hole for sure for Clinton Field.
Hey, man, I agree with everything you said there, man. Like you said, you got a coach like that that's special. Kids run through a wall for him. I mean, from just a standpoint, from like I said, I witnessed him from year one to to last year and watched him every step of the way. And it felt like he just grew and grew and grew and just kept on getting better and better and better. And obviously, that's one of the reasons why I was, pretty upset about this whole situation. Because I mean, man, this guy's approaching his prime. Imagine getting rid of, you know, Michael Jordan right there before his prime. Like that's, and I feel like it's a situation where I feel like in the long run we're gonna look back on it and we're going to think what could have been, but like you said, it is what it is. He is in a prime position now, and I got some new Marlboro County, South Carolina fans joining the praise. So you guys are in for a treat, man. He's going to work wonders for your team and in the community. Odell, man, you got any other comments about it?
Not too much, man. It's bittersweet. Like you guys said already, you hate to see him go, but at the same time, it's a new opportunity for Coach Johnson. Congratulations to Coach Johnson. It's a new opportunity. It's a new chapter. Like I said, it's just bittersweet because of the way it ended. You most certainly don't want to. You don't want it to go the way it went. Because one thing both of y'all have said, and one thing that many people around here say about Coach Johnson, you talk about them boys, you talk about the players, and you say how they'll run through a wall, for their coach. And that's not an easy thing to do to tap into young people, to get young people on board with what it is that you're trying to do, your message or your vision or your game plan, to get a group of young men to come together and to buy in and to say, it's not about, me, it's about the team. It's about the heartbeat of the team. That's not an easy thing to do. And whenever you can get your hands on an individual that can do that, you got yourself a special individual, man.
Yes.
And important thing about whoever's coming in behind Coach Johnson is those boys, because it's an important thing that you said. You went back and you made it clear. You cleared up some of what you were saying when you came live Friday, I believe it was, and that's not what we want to do. We're not. It's not about attacking student athletes. It's not about one program is lesser than the other program. But you were in the moment. You were passionate about what you were speaking on, and that's understandable. Just like Coach Johnson, you watch him and you watch his passion. And it's gonna be like you said, it's gonna be tough shoes to fill coming in. But one thing about Clinton, one thing about the horses, we always bounce back. We always figure out a way to right the ship. But just for 6 years to come into a program and to get the momentum and to get it going and to finally start to see things going the way that you were wanting them to go, and it just, like I said, it just fizzles out the way it fizzles out. It's unfortunate, but remain optimistic and remain hopeful for both Clinton Dark Horses and for both the South Carolina team, that he's going forward to. And best of luck. Best
Yes,
of luck.
sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I couldn't agree more. Couldn't agree more. Um, and just one, I guess, one last comment on it, man. As far as the guy coming in, like I said, I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm just not confident as far as the administration goes. I feel like you know their interests, are elsewhere. I don't think it's they're looking for they're not looking for the best person for the job. I feel like they're looking for the best person that fits their agenda. And at the end of the day, that's not going to be good for the kids or the football program. A lot of deflection going on. A lot of
Yeah. Yeah.
the whole one person doesn't make the program. The program's bigger than one person, and that's cliche. It goes without saying, obviously, but it doesn't excuse what happened and how this administration handled it. A lot of people are talking about, well, Johnson planned on leaving anyway, and it goes back to why was he looking for a job in the first place? I mean, you think about your respective professions. If you're getting treated a certain way, eventually you're going to get fed up and you're going to start looking for another job. Correct? I
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
mean, that's anybody. So for those saying, "Oh, well, this was already planned," okay, like I said, he didn't just out the blue start. Okay, well, I'm gonna start looking for another job. There's for every action for every action there's a reaction. There's stuff that led to this, and from my conversations with Coach, I I spoke on what was going on. So, like I said, anyone who's been under the stuff, the had to deal with the stuff he had to deal with, he's going to, look to better, look for a better position. Because, like I said, it doesn't matter what the job is. If there's no peace of mind, no one wants to be in a toxic environment. So that's
True.
why I'm happy to see him go to a place who obviously they want him. They're happy to have him. And
Right.
all the people speaking negative on the man, you know, uh, like I said, I didn't want to get too deep into it, but man, y'all start talking
Yeah,
and y'all
it,
y'all
it's
got me
it's like
going
the
now.
saying. It's
I
like the
said my
saying
I
goes.
just said my piece.
Yeah, it's like
Oh
the
yeah, I
saying
feel you.
goes. The same rope you climb up on, they'll hang you with. So
They will.
it's and that's kind of I can't speak too much on the situation because of course I don't know all the ins and outs of it. But
Mm,
I think sometimes what gets lost in high school sports is people are so passionate about their teams, they're so passionate about their kids, they're so passionate about the sports that they forget that we're still dealing with kids, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
And because people are used to watching the guys play on Saturday and Sundays, and
Yeah.
they're used to being able to talk about those guys and talk about those coaches because they are adults or they are college kids. Which, by the way, I still don't agree with people talking, crazy about college kids because in the end of the day, they're
oh
still
no, no
kids.
sir, no, I hate it, I
But
hate it, I hate
but
it.
you
Yeah.
come down
Yeah.
to the kids who play on Thursday and Fridays, and it gets lost oftentimes that we are still dealing with kids. And
Kids.
from a coach's standpoint, again, I don't know all that went on, but you hate to see, like you said, my brother played with him. He got there in what year? 2018, I
Uh,
think.
I want to say yeah, yeah,
Yeah. So my
yeah,
brother
because
was on.
I remember your brother.
Yeah. So to see, like you said, to see the momentum that he built up and to see it fizzle out. I again, I don't know Coach Johnson personally, but I'm sure it hurt him as well as it hurt the kids to see it in the way that it did because I'm up here, near the Reedsvilles, and Even when I
Yeah,
came here
yeah,
to college, when people seen my hoodie, they like, "Oh, you're a dark horse," and it's a proud thing to be from Clinton. It's a proud thing to be a
Oh
dark
yes,
horse,
sir.
and you know, to finally get that buzz back, that they had whenever I was growing up, and then when I was in school, and to see it snatched away so, so quickly. This happened very quick.
it
You
happened
know, to
fast.
to see it happen like that, I hurt the most for the kids. I hurt the most for the kids because they are the ones who are going to have to, deal with the fallout, so to
Pick
Oh
speak.
up the
yeah.
pieces. Yeah,
Yeah, they're the ones that's going to have to pick up the pieces, and they're the ones that's going to have to go out there on Friday nights. And people see what we do on Friday and Thursday nights. They don't see the Saturday through the week
exactly. Yeah,
because uh just from my standpoint and just from this being my first year coaching, and I tell my head coach, Coach Timmons, this all the time, and sometimes he laughs at me. I severely underestimated all that goes into being a high school coach. Like we start spring ball in May, and it's through the end of like May 25th through the end. We get 2 weeks off in June, 2 weeks off in July. Outside of those 2 weeks, we're going from May to everybody wants to play in December, so we're going for 6 to 7 months, and it's
yeah,
Monday practice, Tuesday practice, Wednesday practice, Thursday, Friday game, Saturday and Sunday film, coaches meetings, to game plan for the next week. And I think that gets lost in what we do because we are dealing with high school kids and then we are coaching high school. It's a thankless job sometimes, and that can weigh on. That can weigh on, especially when you're not getting like the backing of the community that you feel like that you get. You
exactly.
know, here at Western Guilford, we're in a rebuild mode, but the parents and the community. There's a lot of schools here in Greensboro as opposed to Clinton, but the Western Guilford community, they are so supportive of what it is that we're trying to do, and it makes your job a lot easier. Than
Yes, sir. Yeah.
because in North Carolina to be a coach, we have to teach as well. So we're coming from waking up at 7 o'clock in the 6 o'clock in the morning. I watch film before I go to work because I teach too. So I watch film before I go to work. I'm up from about 6 to 8 every 6 a.m. to 8 p.m. whenever football comes around. You know, and it's a lot. And to not have the support of the community or again admin, and I'm just speaking in general when I say the admin, it can weigh heavy on.
Yeah,
And
Oh,
he did what he felt he needed to do to support his family because at the end of the day, that's what it's
that's
all
what
about.
meant.
He
That's
has a
what it's
family that
about.
he has to feed,
That's
and
right.
again, I won't speak too much on his situation. That's just didn't mean to go on a rant, but that's just
oh
from
no, no, you good,
a
man. Trust me, I'm guilty of it myself, but I mean, it's a like I said, it's for me. It hurts to see like, well, I guess it's good to see like you see all the people that were rubbing shoulders with him back in September, October, and now all of a sudden you don't want nothing to do with the man. I mean, I mean, it goes to show how some people are, man. And then I mean, unfortunately, we live in an imperfect world, so there. I mean, there's always going to be individuals like that. But thankful that you get to kind of see how it is now, and like you said, man, not having that support, not having that backing, just makes it tough for the coach. And it's a great segue into what we're going to talk about next, as far as the going to South Carolina and just I mean, I always heard about the differences as far as pay goes, but I mean, just to see the numbers, and I'm just like, it's crazy. Okay, one of the members of his new staff, Lonnie Cox, he was an athletic director at Pine Forest last season. Athletic director is a you know, pretty good position to have.
Yeah,
You get paid
yeah,
pretty well. He moved to South Carolina to be on Johnson's staff. He's not even a coordinator, just a position coach, and he's going to teach as well. But basically, he's going to be making about the same as he was as an athletic director in North Carolina. Like that's crazy to me. So you could move across the border, stop being an athletic director, just be a position coach, and probably I guess he's probably teach whatever subject he specializes in, and make the same. and just seeing the numbers. And excuse me if I'm wrong. I don't know. I'm not sure. But in South Carolina, you could just basically just coach, right? You don't
Yeah,
have to teach.
with the with the amount of money they make, you can essentially just coach as opposed, teaching
Wow.
and coaching. So
So like I said, I I saw them. Like I said, not my business to share what he's making, but I saw what Corey's gonna be making now and what he made at Clinton, and it's just crazy to see. And there were people talking about, well, they thought maybe Ryan Hunt would stay and apply for the Clinton head coach. I'm like, well, what's the point of him going down there what's the point of him applying for this job where you already see how they treat a guy that you're linked to, where you can go down to South Carolina, be a coordinator and and make more money. So it's just crazy to think, just jumping across that border, the differences as far as pay and responsibility, and quite frankly, man, treatment. I talked to Coach Hunt last night, and he told me, man, they are big, they are passionate about their football down there. He said they spent 20 minutes in a school board meeting arguing about something about middle school football. We talk about middle school now. So
Yeah,
those guys ended up in the right place, uh, but it's just the number of head of coaches that just went across the border. And big up to Corey, man. He got himself in a position, and all the people he came up with, he took care of them. We talking about Dennis
that is big
McFadden.
up. Yeah,
We talking Ryan Hunt. We talking
yeah.
about Hassan Tyson, um, Lonnie Cox. All these guys started out together at Scotland, and Corey made it big, and he brought a great circle, a great group of coaches around him. And that's a bunch of coaches that North Carolina just lost to South Carolina, and it's just crazy to hear about the just the differences, man. And what does North Carolina have to do? I mean, North Carolina, you got to do better. You got to do better. State employees in North Carolina like I said, I was a correctional officer working for the state for almost 10 years, and
Yeah.
it's ridiculous, man.
I'll let you go first, if you wanted to speak on it.
Odell, if you got anything
Oh,
as far as
I mean, the whole thing to me about like, 'cause I ain't trying to stay on the topic, but the whole thing about like Coach Johnson and the game, going over there. One thing about it, uh, it's important to me. It's important to know your worth.
oh yes,
It's
sir.
important.
Yes, sir.
It's important. It's important to know what you bring to the table. Um, and if you are valuable, they the people that want you, they have no problem with meeting not necessarily just money, but whatever it is that they need to meet for you to do whatever it is that they need you to do.
Oh yes,
If you
sir.
if you're like if you're valuable, it's no problem. And they want you, they're going to do what they can do to say, hey, we want you guys over here. So as far as that for coaches, you take a coach, and some people might say, well, they were in a smaller market and his value just got too high and we wouldn't be able to keep him. But that's why I say it's not necessarily always about money. It's you can make an individual, you can't put price on peace of mind, and you
Yes, sir.
can't put price on feeling valued. If 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 you My job that I work for, if they don't pay me what I expect to be paid, they can at least make me feel wanted. They can at least say, hey, we want you here. But if you take these things away, and you indeed are valuable, you went undefeated. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
There are going to be individuals out there that says, hey, come to our program, come and work in our program.
And that's exactly what happened.
How fast can you get here? It's like that's what you're going to have. So with the pay, they got money, but like I said, to me, it's more about even more so than the money. It's more about the, like you said, they got there and they were big about their football. They had a conversation about middle school kids. It's the atmosphere. It's the
Yeah.
you only got one shot to make a first impression with somebody, and that's it. After that first impression, they already got what they got of you. They already gonna feel how they feel about you. When me and you met, you had that first impression of me is all I had to give you, and that was it. After that, you don't get a second chance. So, like I said, to me, money, yeah, but to me, the bell rings louder about the welcoming atmosphere.
Oh
The
yeah.
the hey, you know, this is what we want. We all in. We buying in. And when you have organizations that make that known from jump, I think that makes the job easier for whoever is coming in to do whatever it is that they need to do. If you take
Yes,
a
sir.
football coach, if you take a football coach and they say, "Hey man, we all in. Whatever you need, hey, you got space to do what you want to do." If it's a basketball coach, if it's a soccer coach, if it's a volleyball coach, if it's a teacher, if it's a new English teacher, hey, this is your classroom. We're going as long as you stay in the curriculum. We give you free range to teach these children how it is you teach them because that's why we brought you here. We brought you in here to do a job, and we're giving you the room to do what we said we want you to do, and that goes big. Like I said, you can't put a price on peace of mind, and you can't put a price on feeling wanted.
Hey man, you hit it right on the head because one of the things that coach has been kind of talking about is that they're all in. There ain't no half stepping. So, like I said, man, shout out to Marlboro County. They doing it right down there. Hey, it's chess, not checkers. Coach Juan, man, what you got? What you got?
That idea of feeling wanted, um, and a peace of mind. I'm telling you, it coming in as a first year coach. I was looking around, schools in the county, and I met with, maybe one or two before, and just then, like you said, you only got one chance to make a first impression. And I mean, the moment I stepped foot, into Western Guilford, and I talked to Coach Timmons and our AD, Coach Harris, and then the then principal at the time, Mr. Newland, and the new principal now, Mr. Barnett. It's always felt like a family environment.
Yeah,
Um, like I said, and I'm a teacher too, so my days start early. My days start
yeah,
very early, and going until 9 p.m. when it's football season, it can wear on. And
yeah,
you already have the mental wear of the season, and as a coach having to deal with players, and as a teacher having to deal with your students and their parents. And when you don't have that support and that welcoming environment, it can affect you. There's a saying that winning cures all, and it's a lie. Winning does not cure all. It
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 does
it
not.
it, it winning does not cure all. It
If
hides.
anything, it helps people like be delusional. Like people
Yes,
will just get caught up in the winning.
because the moment
Hmm.
that you lose, because it's gonna happen to everybody, the moment that you lose, that's when the true character and how people
Yeah.
really feel
Mhm.
about you come out. And that's where the toxicity starts at, is when you do lose. And um, you know, and again, shout out to Coach Timmons and the staff that we have here at Western Guilford. And it's a testament to Johnson that all of those guys followed him to South Carolina.
Yeah.
If we don't look at the money, we don't say anything about the money. And I believe Coach Hunt may have, just had a kid, I believe. And he's
Yep.
moving his
Yep.
family for the trust that they have in him,
Yeah.
the trust that their wives or girlfriends have. And Coach Johnson and what if his plan and his idea is, that's a testament to him and the working environment that he puts his coaches around. See, because it's not always, the environment that the administration or that the community puts you in. Because sometimes, and especially with coaching football, you have to put up a divider, and it has to be a
Mm.
divider. It has to be, this is me and my team, and then everybody on the other side of this wall is everybody else. But while we're in house, if we can keep the in-house environment good, then that outside noise isn't as loud. The toxicity of that outside environment, it isn't as toxic, because I know that when I step across this threshold and I'm in around my team, I'm around my staff, we're at staff meetings, we're doing this and we're doing that, that love is there and I feel that. So for him to take pretty much almost everybody he's ever worked with at Clinton and when he was at Scotland, it's a testament to the environment that he has put around him and that he's put for those coaches in his office. And man, I'm telling you, it's hard enough to coach as is, but
Hmm.
trying to do it when you don't feel that love or it's toxicity in the, in the community. Because, I knew kind of, sort of what it was like as far as like people talking in the stands. Everybody feels like they can coach when they're sitting in the stands. Everybody. And I feel, and I knew that beforehand, but at the state championship game, it was like, it was incredibly obvious. And I, I before now, I was, just Juan, the guy who loves football, watching it and listening to those people talking in the stands. Even though I knew a lot of football, I was still that. But now that I'm a coach and I had to sit up there that Saturday and listen to everybody have their opinion and all this, that, and the third. And it's like, number one is mate, this probably is your first or second game you've been to all year.
Oh
Number
Yeah,
yeah.
number one.
two,
Number one.
I kept hearing you need to throw the ball, you need to throw the ball, throw the ball. I watch Reedsville because I'm up here. The game plan going into that game is what the game plan should have been. But here's the
Yes,
thing:
because
people have, I think people have not given Reedsville the credit they deserve for that game. And you go back to the East Duplin game, and I know I'm kind of all over the place here, but you go back to that East Duplin game, Reedsville turned the ball over like 3 or 4 times that game. They play Clinton, they don't turn the ball over at all. They don't make they had a
yeah,
couple
they
very
played
they
basically that quarterback played a perfect game almost.
Clinton played good,
Yeah,
Reedsville played perfect. And that was
they
the
did.
difference. And if
They
you
did.
throw the ball, like, the people in the stands are saying, that gives Reedsville the ball more. You know what I'm saying? So, and people don't think about that while they're screaming down to the sidelines and what the coaches can do. Come tell you something. We have these headsets on, but we can hear everything that people are saying. We can hear everything. The kids can hear everything. We can hear everything that people are saying. And, that can grow tiresome for a coach.
Yeah,
It
yeah,
can grow
yeah.
tiresome for a coach. And it creates that toxic environment that, again, not speaking on his situation, but can run a coach out. And, people going to South Carolina, man, it's hard to tell. I looked at some of the salaries in South Carolina. It's hard to tell a guy who coaches football, and if you coach, you got to love the game, that he can make $90,000 a year just coaching football, and that's it. He doesn't have to teach. He doesn't have to do anything else. All he has to do is coach football. It's hard. And I think that's North Carolina's issue, is because a lot of the coaches on teams are teachers too. So
Yeah,
before we can
yeah,
talk about coaches' pay, I think the big thing is, first, we got to handle teachers. We got to
yeah,
take care of teachers.
Yeah,
And
we
yeah.
definitely
That's a great point.
If North Carolina
That's a
isn't
great
taking
point.
care of their teachers, then they're inadvertently not taking care of their coaches who
The
also
coaches.
teach. And then, that's where it gets mucky, and that's becoming a problem. And that's why you've seen like this mass movement of coaches to South Carolina. Because as long as I've been following football in North Carolina, since me and my dad was going to the James Keenan games when I was like 10 years old, I have not seen this many coaches leave in a single offseason, me personally, and all go to the same place. So I mean, when it comes to the pay and how that goes, that's a North Carolina thing. But first, teachers have to be taken care of first. And once that happens, I think the ball will get rolling on the coaches. But until North Carolina steps up, they'll always be a step behind.
Hmm.
Hey man, great points, man. So many great points. I have to agree with everything, man. I'm guilty of it myself, and then I have to kind of stop myself and think, everyone has the right answers after the game.
Oh yeah, you can
Everyone's an
coach.
expert.
Yeah,
Everyone's an
hey,
expert
yeah.
after a game. And
That's
if
true.
people watched, if you watched and paid attention to Reevesville, you did not want to throw the ball. Ask Shelby what happened when you threw the ball. Hey, look, and that's just a credit to Reevesville and some of the athletes they have. But Coach had the right game plan. You know, unfortunately, like you said, Reevesville played a perfect game. Clinton made some mistakes in the red zone, penalties, turnovers, and that's football, man. But like I said, man, you guys both hit all the points right on the head. I have to agree with you. Um, Unfortunately, man, we kind of got to move forward in the process. But one last note, as far as high school goes, man, not only obviously I made the announcement about kind of branching off into South Carolina and doing some coverage on Marlboro County this upcoming season. And hopefully no one's looking at that as a negative. No, I'm not jumping ship. I'm still Hey, look, at the end of the day, I'm playing through and through. I'm covering the dark horse. But at the same time, Corey Johnson, Ryan Hunt did a lot to help me in this platform, help this page with information and guidance. And as a friend, I would like to continue to support those guys and follow what they
Of
got going
course,
on. So I will be
of course.
expanding into South Carolina and hopefully opening up a whole new audience of followers. Also, with that, something I've been talking about with some people, man. I want to really get into more Sampson County coverage as far as Union, Lakewood, Hopton, Midway, giving them their due as well. So each week, this coming fall, I'm gonna try to feature one of those teams. Hopefully, they play each other a lot, so hopefully I could knock out
Yeah.
two birds with one stone. But that's just some plans I got as far as high school goes in the future. But moving on to college, man. Y'all see the Dean Dome in the background. Y'all know what's going on this Saturday.
They know what it is.
Part two, Battle of the Blues, best rivalry in college sports, maybe the best rivalry in sports, period.
Yeah, it might be.
Just a little just a little talk about my Tar Heels real quick, man. We're on a 5-game winning streak up to number 7 in the AP polls now. Kind of had a little rough patch with it was like every other game we were losing. Had the Georgia Tech loss, had the Clemson loss, had the Syracuse loss, but they seem like they kind of got it together now. Great win last night, senior night, over Notre Dame. Big time game coming up this Saturday, as y'all know, man. It's Duke Carolina,
Duke Carolina.
best rivalry in sports. Last night clinched the share of the ACC regular season championship, but Saturday have an opportunity to win the whole thing outright. And I mean, as much as I love being Duke at home, it's even better when you do it in Hansborough Indoor Stadium. For those that don't know, that's an inside joke. That's it ain't Cameron Indoor Stadium. That's Hansborough Indoor Stadium. Because my boy ain't never lose a game at Duke.
Yeah, he did. He did.
So that's what's going on with them this Saturday, man. So that's a big time game. I don't know if you guys have any thoughts or anything you want to talk about as far as Duke Carolina is concerned. Like I said, for me, man, my Carolina Panthers ain't going to the Super Bowl anytime soon. So this is my Super Bowl. You know what I'm saying? So this is what I get hyped up for. Around this time of year. But if you guys have any thoughts, comments,
Man,
Odell.
Coach
Juwuan, go ahead.
I think, and somebody may have said this before, I don't know, but I think that Final Four game it didn't kill the rivalry for me because I'm a Carolina fan too. It didn't kill the rivalry for me, but and don't get me wrong, I still hate Duke with a passion. Some of these games they don't feel the same. Duke is number 9 in the country. I think Carolina's number 7. This would be talked about all week long. And I think I seen like maybe 1 or 2 commercials on ESPN for it all week. And normally they'll show the classic games and all that. So I don't know what can get the rivalry back to the juice that it used to have before that Final Four game. I think it's honestly John Shire and Hubert Davis. It's not Rodriguez.
It's a new culture. It's a new culture.
And I think that's what it is. I got to get adjusted to that. Feel that hate. And a lot of these guys don't stay the whole time. You got these.
Yeah. And Neil ain't gonna help.
I can't develop a hate for you. I hated Cal Singer. I hated John Shire. I hate it.
I still don't like Shane Battier.
I hated those guys. And now you got, these guys.
JJ Neeson.
Yeah, I despise JJ.
Oh, nah, my guy. What's my guy name? The Tripper, Grayson.
Grayson.
I
don't like him neither.
I
like him neither. Hey man, we sound biased.
But at the same time,
Hey look, you see the background. I'm biased there.
As much as I hated them though, they brought something to the rivalry. And Duke, North Carolina on either side have those guys now that they bring something to the rivalry. Duke fans probably hate Armando Bacot because he's been there since 2002, and he probably played with Tom May and them guys. But outside of that, what do they bring? These guys don't bring a lot. So, hopefully he can get back to what it was whenever I was in high school, man.
Hey, you make a great point, man. Because I mean, it's a different culture. Because you got Roy and Mike got out of there, and I used to work with a guy, and it's a true story. We just worked with a guy, and he's a Carolina fan too. And we sitting in the office one day, man, and we were just going on about how much we didn't like Duke. And he said, man, I'm such a Carolina fan. He was like, I don't even cheer for Team USA when they play in the Olympics. I said, man, you got me beat. I said, ain't that bad because
That,
Coach K was Team USA coach.
No,
He said he wouldn't even root for him. So I think those guys, they were doing it for so long, man. You had Roy, and he went to Kansas, and he got motion going on over there. And then whenever they wanted him to come back to Carolina, he had a choice to make. And then with Coach K, he just was there so long, and he had all these kids come through. Like I said, Shane Battier, you got Grayson Allen, you got JJ. He had all these Jason Tatum, he had all these guys, and now you got this new culture. And a year ago, we didn't even want to go to the NIT. We got our feelings hurt so bad. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, I don't want. Oh
So
God, yeah.
So and I mean, he over there at Duke, and he still doesn't, really seem to have the same mojo, as
Hmm.
Coach K, with those guys. I mean, they still do, but he makes a good point. The rivalry is not what it used to be, but like I still tell people, those guys could be the two worst teams in the nation. And one thing about it, when they got to play each other, they're going to bring the
Oh,
best that they
oh
have,
yes, sir.
because they grew up watching the same rivalry, as we did. They grew up watching the same games, and RJ, it's personal, because
Oh
like I
yeah.
said, we we didn't even do the NIT last year, so I feel like those guys, I feel like the Heels, they've been playing with a chip on their shoulder. They know it. I think everybody knows it. I think Coach knows it. Think that if this season does not go, maybe not necessarily championship, of course, but if they don't play Carolina ball, it can get interesting in Chapel Hill. Duke, no love lost there. Hopefully we wipe the floor with them. I'm pretty
Oh
sure
yes,
we're gonna
sir.
wipe the floor with them.
Hey, I agree with all that. Hey, look, and I mean, I have to agree with what y'all said, man. It's kind of hard to top that Final Four.
Yeah,
I mean, that's the
yeah,
first time these two historic programs met in the NCAA tournament, and it just happened to be the Final Four. And I'll
yeah.
tell you something about that game, man. I did not sit down the entire game.
And it
Like
was
my
their last
wife,
run, man. It was like it was the
man,
coach's last run, dude.
my wife was taking videos of me because I'm standing in front of my TV, just like going crazy. But I mean, with Coach K being retired and Roy Williams being retired, you got two new coaches, and they kind of got to build up their resumes to
Yeah,
get to that point again. And then, like I said, with this new college culture, the with the one and dones, with the NIL, with the transfer portal, you know, you're getting so many different groups. You're not getting that same type of feel for it. But like I said, at the end of the day, man, it's Carolina Duke. I want the W. I want those
all
bragging
day,
rights.
all day.
I want to see these, especially after a year like last year. I want to wrap up that ACC regular season
Yeah,
title and hopefully
yeah.
go into the ACC tournament with a bunch of momentum and riding high. And hopefully keep this thing moving. But I mean, I appreciate you guys' input on that. Like I said, man, Carolina through and through, all day, every day.
All day.
Uh, Kind of got to move it on a bit, man. Miss Tamika, I'm sorry if I go a little bit over, but hey, man, it's some good conversation. You got two great guests, great input. Hey, I love it, man. This is what it's all about right here. So I mean, I really appreciate what you guys are bringing to the podcast tonight. Uh, Gonna move on to a little bit of pro sports. Got to talk about my moves for my Carolina Panthers. Big news this week is the non-exclusive franchise tag on Brian Burns. It's going to run us with a cap number of 24 million. What it allows Carolina to do is we can match any offer that any team makes for him. So, if it's something we feel like we can match, all right, cool, we'll match that, and he stays with Carolina. If not, and he signs elsewhere, we get 2 first-round picks. Now, it doesn't happen too often. Last time that scenario played out, where the team, was compensated those 2 first-round picks, was back in year 2000, 24 years ago, with the Dallas Cowboys and the Seattle Seahawks. Wide receiver Joey Galloway, goes off to Dallas.
Mm-hmm.
Seattle gets 2 first-round picks. One of those first-round picks ended up being Sean Alexander. So kind of worked out for Seattle. But like I said, it's not something that you see too often. It's something that was placed on Lamar Jackson last season. Saquon Barkley had it on him last season. It's just, it's not often that it, plays out to that scenario where you get the two first-round picks most of the time. No team offers, that puts up an offer sheet for the player, or you end up coming up, you end up just re-signing them yourself. So extending them yourself. So that's basically what we're dealing with in Carolina right now. It doesn't seem like we have any intention of extending him. I feel like it's probably gonna end up playing out as a trade. You hear other teams talk about why they placed the franchise tags on their key guys. With Carolina, there was no context. It was just, hey, we're replacing the franchise tag. It's no, hey, there's negotiations are going to be ongoing or whatever. It was pretty much cold and to the point.
Yeah.
So that kind of feels like Brian Burns is probably going to be on his way out of Charlotte, which is unfortunate. Basing, we really have no other, pass rush options currently on the roster. Not sure what we're going to do as far as free agency and the draft goes, as far as addressing that position. If we don't keep Brian Burns, we're talking about a team now that was dead last in sacks last season. So to get rid of your best pass rushing option with no, and without getting anything in return, it's going to be that's going to be pretty tough. But other news for Carolina, Dante Jackson, quarterback's probably going to be traded or released sometime in the near future. Another issue as far as Carolina goes, your defensive back room, with given J.C. Horn's injury history is going to be really short. A lot of notable defensive guys in the secondary have been released this week by their teams. So I guess that's just a trend going on. We saw Seattle release Jamal Adams and Quadron Diggs the other day. Trayvon,
Darius
my
Rush
guy,
Buffalo got released today.
Yeah, my guy, he got released. Jordan Poyer got released. So a lot of guys in secondary got released. Yeah. So that's another thing Carolina's dealing with. And we're releasing tight end Hayden Hurst, which just really didn't give us anything this past year. Carolina has really dropped the ball on the tight end position since getting rid of Greg Olsen. So hopefully we saw a little hope with Tommy Tremble, but as far as the tight end position, man, it's just been a total bust in Carolina. So just a couple moves we've been making. Free agency starts in this time next week, 4:00 p.m. So we'll be getting a lot of news next week and seeing what this team is going to do as far as rebuilding and getting your young quarterback in a position to be successful, and what this first year head coach is going to do, what this new front office is going to do. Coach Juan, man, I know you're a big Philadelphia Eagles fan. What you hearing up there with your Eagles?
Well, we released Avonte Maddox today, which I broke my phone today, so I didn't get the alert. So I just got home and I seen it, and my reaction was less than favorable when I seen it. But I get it. He got an injury history, but I don't know how much the Eagles y'all watched this year, but it was hard to watch anything past that front four this past year. And when I say hard, it was like turn off the TV hard to watch anything past that front four this year. Secondary was terrible. Darius Slade had an injury. James Bradbury robbed us with no ski mask on. Devontae was hurt. Keely Ringo was a bright spot. Eli Ricks was the exact opposite of a bright spot. And then we couldn't get that other safety beside Blankenship. We tried Kevin Byard. It was a reason why Tennessee was trying to get rid of him. And the same thing at our linebacker position. We when Kobe Dean got hurt, I think that's when our season turned. Cause that boy, no pun intended, he is indeed a dog. And when he got hurt, watching Zach Cunningham try and guard Christian McCaffrey in that 49ers game was enough to make me say, I don't know if I can watch this team play again this year. We have to get a linebacker. We have to get a linebacker for sure. We got to get somebody at corner too. We got to get another corner across from Darius Slade, which I think we'll probably do that in the draft. And the Hassan Riddick situation, I don't know what that was. I don't know what that is. I didn't. Nick Sirianni says he wants him there. I mean, he didn't give him permission for a trade. And he wants him there. Hassan Riddick says his side they did ask for trade. I don't know. It coming off
y'all
the
can give
Super
him back.
Bowl.
Give him back. That's what y'all can do. Give
Yeah,
him back.
because I
Give him back.
appreciate y'all for basically for letting him walk, but at the year after coming off a Super Bowl to had the season that we had, I knew that 10-0 start was fake. It was cubic zirconia. It was not. I think everybody knew it was.
You said fake.
It was fake. We all knew it was fake. The way we were winning the game, but something has to be done. And then Jason Kelce retiring yesterday. That's
Yeah.
because Landon Dickerson's
That's
going to have to move to center, and that means now we're going to have to look for a guard. And I trust Jeff Stoutland and his ability to work with our offensive line, the best offensive line coach in sports, period. And I kind of trust Howie in the draft. I don't know. He does weird things in the draft, like draft Nelson Aguilar, but Justin Jefferson is sitting right there.
Oh God.
I don't. He's had a good draft the last couple of years, but that's one of them things I'll probably never forgive him for. I'll never forgive him for. So hopefully we can figure something out. Though that's what they get paid the big bucks to do. I get paid to watch.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Odell, who's your allegiance with, man? What y'all got going on?
Hey, for a long time I was a Tom fan, man. But when Tom retired, I jumped over to Baltimore. So I'm a Ravens fan. I'm a Ravens fan now because I like Lamar. I always have, even when he was in Louisville. But with them, I don't like the way the Kansas City game went for us. I think that they have the team that could do it, but
oh yeah.
But I mean, Kansas City is tough, man, and it's not just a talent thing. I think it's also an experience thing with those guys. You get there so many times, and you play in the playoffs, and you just get that experience. And Andy and Patrick and Travis, man, it's hard to get those guys once you get them in the playoffs. But I remain hopeful. Lamar showed people this season. When he tested free agency and he said, I was worth the money. I like the season that he had.
Definitely.
I like the season that the team had. I like what they were able to do. And it came down to the big game. They got the big game, and they got the big game in their house, and it just didn't go their way. So hopefully we can get one over there in Baltimore with Lamar.
I feel like it's only a matter of time, man.
Me too.
It's only a matter of time.
Me too. Like I said, the biggest thing is just selling Kansas City right now. And
well, look, if y'all watch the show, man, I kept on picking against them. And I learned my lesson,
hey, man.
Listen. You don't pick against playoff.
Listen, listen. Them guys, how he just said that 10-0 start was fake. That whole hiccup from Kansas City this past season about them not being able to get on the same page and all that stuff, man, they was punking us all year. Them
I said,
dudes hit
look, we gonna play with
them
y'all. We
dudes
gonna
hit
make
the
y'all think.
them dudes hit the playoffs, man. Patrick going up there in press conferences saying, "Man, I probably could have threw the ball a little bit better." He throwing the ball perfect and stuff. Them dudes hit the playoffs and it was over. Man, like you're right. You don't go against Kansas City right now in
Oh
in
no,
the playoffs
oh
because
no. Like I said, lesson
they hurt
learned.
your heart. And
Lesson
honestly,
learned.
man, this is and of course, like most of the time I pull for them, but this year in the Super Bowl, man, I was going for San Fran, dude.
Well,
I wanted them to do it, man. But number
look,
15, dude.
as soon as, like I said, as soon as Pat got that ball, I already knew what it
I
was.
know, I
Hey,
mean,
look here,
by the
look,
time we got to that point, yeah, it was over.
man, look, Pat had me looking crazy up here, man. I had to keep
Yeah.
on coming on the show, like, hey, look, y'all, I know I said this, but yeah, Patrick Mahomes, but but
So, but
hey,
yeah, man,
what?
I think it's a matter of time too.
Oh yeah. One last little question I got for y'all, man, before we wrap things up. NFL Combine this last week, man. How much how much do you put into as far as like players' workouts? Because this is my thing. Everyone's been talking about my guy Xavier Worthy in his 40 time. Ran a new record 40 time. He ran like a 4.21, which is freaking ridiculous.
That is crazy. That's
But
crazy.
but in the past, man, I was kind of just like, okay, the guy he beat, John Ross.
Uh-oh.
How many? How many? Now, John Ross ran like a 4.22. Ended up being a first round pick in the top 10, number 9 to Cincinnati. And everybody just raved about his 40 time. How many? Now, number one, what NFL team does he play for right now? Anybody know?
Nobody.
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 How many 1,000 yard receiving years did he have in the NFL?
Did he even have a 500? The question.
He did have one 500. He had a 506 back in, I want to say it was like 2018. But like I said, the man ain't played a down since 2021. Last he was with Kansas City in 2023, but on the practice squad. Ended up retiring after the season was over with. I'm just saying though, people fall in love with these workouts sometimes, and I mean it just don't always translate to the field like that. I mean, people rave over the
I
40
don't.
times. People would rave over the bench presses. Like I mean, it was an offensive lineman. I can't remember his name, man, but his bench press wasn't quite what it should be for a guy his size.
Hmm.
And his quarterback in college was like, "Hey, I don't give a damn what y'all say about his bench press. I know I never got sacked coming from his side."
Hey,
So many times we put so much emphasis on the workouts, man, and what you're doing in shorts and a t-shirt, but it just doesn't always translate to field. One big example: Odell, Nick Cooper. People used to give Nick hell because he couldn't run a 4.5, exactly a 4.5.
yeah,
Put that man in a helmet, shoulder pads, and give him the ball and let him break on you. I bet you
it
ain't
was
catching him.
it was the
I
toughest
bet
thing in
you
the
ain't
trenches.
catching him.
You ain't catching them.
you know.
You ain't catching them, and you
So
and you can and you can get the ball to him 30 times.
so so I just want to know how y'all feel about as far as the NFL Combine goes and just the emphasis placed on these sexy workouts.
That's what they are. I tell my high school kids all the time, you
That's
are
what they
what
are.
you put on tape. Like what you put on tape that's who you are. Uh some of the combine workouts I care about. Uh
Mhm.
the 40, because Aldrich Estime, the running back from Notre Dame, he ran like 4.6, 4.7, something like that. I'm a running back coach, so I watch the running backs and I watch his tape. He's a throwback old school running back. No, he's not going to run a 4.4 or 4.3. I don't want him to. He's a between the guards kind of running back. So the 40 time, I tell you the dumbest 40 drill, the broad jump. I don't understand what the point of it is. I don't get why we have
Yeah.
to be going into the other. There's never a
What is
situation in
that?
the league where it's gonna happen. If you have to jump 11 inches, I'm sorry, 11 whatever, because to do anything, Your quarterback either threw a really bad ball, it's a fumble in the end zone somewhere, or something has gone catastrophically wrong. For offensive linemen, I don't care about the 40, the broad jump, and the high jump. I don't care. I don't care. The 3-cone drill for the linemen. Let me see how those hips move, big fella. Like, that's the
Okay.
kind of stuff that I want to see.
Yeah,
For
yeah.
skill position guys, the broad jump, whatever. The high jump for receivers, I need it. It needs to be seen. Now, the quarterbacks, all their drills, all their drills matter. Because JJ
Mm.
McCarthy had I don't know what they're saying on NFL Network, and ESPN, and all that kind of stuff. Got to see what Dan Orlovsky got to say because, he give quarterbacks a million excuses. But from what I
Okay.
see, JJ McCarthy cost himself money participating at the combine because he couldn't hit simple throws on the drills that they were doing. So, I mean, but again, I kind of contradicted myself because I say you are what you put on tape, and he put some good stuff on tape. But I think they should put two and two together. For a guy like John Ross, he was always, even in college, he was a go ball guy. Like, that's just what he was. Or give him the ball on the drag and let him go. Xavier Worthy has a route tree. Like
Okay.
he got himself some money this past weekend. And another guy, and then I'll let you go, Odell. Peyton Wilson, I love him at NC State. And I text the group chat. I text the group chat my brother, my dad, and my dad friend. I said, Peyton Wilson, move me today. And he ran that 40 time, and he was a freak athlete in all his drills. And I don't care if he doesn't have any ligaments in his knee or any cartilage in his knee. Give him some shots before the game and let him go. Because Peyton Wilson is a
I know
baller,
that's
man.
right.
He is a
I know
baller.
that's right.
4-4 for a linebacker. That's sideline to sideline speed.
That
And
is sideline to sideline,
that's
son.
sideline to sideline speed. And he
That
showed it at
is.
NC State. And Peyton Wilson earned himself some money this past week because with that 40 time and all his other drills, the linebacker drills matter too. But all that, man, it and I'm sorry, I just thought of another guy, Jeffrey Okuda. He had a horrible combine. He had a horrible combine. And people started to see that his hips were not as good as they thought they were at one point when he was at Ohio State. And
Mm-hmm.
oddly enough, his Ohio State film didn't translate, but the stuff that he did at the combine unfortunately translated for him, and that's why he a top 5 pick in limbo right now with Detroit.
Yeah, I
Uh,
feel you. Odell, what you got, man? What you got?
That's like Coach Juwuan said. Some of those things will matter, and then some of them they're there. And I mean, when you're young, you want to get out there and you do all these drills and you do all these workouts and you want to, you want to give it your all and you want to give it your best. I mean, I remember when Kevin Durant was coming out of Texas and, they had to do theirs. And I want to say it was 35 pounds that they had to bench press. And he didn't get, he didn't get, he didn't get one. He didn't get one rep off a 35-pound bench press. And the media tore him up. The media was like, Kevin Durant can't bench press. That's gonna hurt his draft stock. And later on down in his career, I mean, he's Kevin Durant. Um, I feel like some of the things that athletes have, they're going to translate in the moment.
Mm-hmm.
Hard work beats talent when the talent don't work hard. Some
Yes,
of
sir.
these kids are naturally gifted, and you're going to see that. You're going to see that 4.21 40. But like you said, what's more important is how well you run routes, or how well you might run that route in a critical moment of the game. Do you have the presence of mind? And these are things that you don't get at a combine. These are things, like you said, that you see on film. You have to sit and watch the tape on these guys, see them in game situations.
Yes, sir.
See the running back that has the slower 40 time, but he knows the defensive scheme. He knows when that linebacker lines up at a certain way, I know which way I'm gonna go with this ball now because I done seen this a couple times. He got a mind for it. And so like you said, some of these things, yeah, we need to see them like quarterbacks. You do quarterbacks should be cautious sometimes going into the combine because the coach might know. The coach might know, hey, he can't hit these organized throws. He can't hit these these pretty situational things that y'all are trying to set them up for. But you get them in the game situation, you get that hold of the break and get them up there to that line, kids ready to go. So, and I kind of feel the same way about the Heisman a little bit too. I feel like it's a little overrated because
Oh, it
these
is.
kids will
It
get
is.
these kids will get the Heisman and that's fine if you're the best for 20, 22, 23, but you're getting ready to go to a league where you got grown men and these men have been playing and you're going up against Heisman and championship winners. So I like I said, I agree. I agree with Coach Juwuan. Some of the drills are essential and necessary to see before we start to think about investing in you. But some of these drills, if you're investing off of some of these drills, like if you're investing off of how fast you saw a guy run, that's probably not a wise investment
Ask Al
because
Davis.
because it ain't just about how fast you are. So that's
Man,
all.
once again, man, great input, great points. Fortunately, guys, we got to start wrapping things up. Final thoughts, Coach Juan. I'll let you go first. Any final thoughts, man?
Uh, First of all, man, appreciate you for giving me this platform to come talk. This
Oh,
was
yes,
pretty
sir.
cool.
Word up.
Great conversation. Um, final thoughts to any high school parents out there listening. Um, the communities listening, whatever community, whatever team you support, win, lose, or draw, our job as high school coaches is to make sure that you don't have to pay a dime for your little baby to go to school. So
Exactly.
in us trying to
Right,
help you,
right.
help us, you know, everybody can coach from the stands. We know. Everybody got an opinion. We know. But at the end of the day, man, my job is to make sure that my running backs, my offensive guys, if they get to school and their mom and dad don't have to pay a dime because of, and if they do have to pay, it's not what they would have to pay if it wasn't for sports. So at the end of the day, community members of high school, athletics, please just remember, man, these are kids that we're dealing with. These are kids that we're dealing with. Um, these kids have feelings, and you may not believe it. Community members, parents, but coaches have feelings too. We just can't show it all the time.
Great points, man. Great points, man. Appreciate that. Odell, any final thoughts, man?
Ah, man, just to piggyback off of Coach Juwan, like you said, man, biggest thing here. First off, though, thank you for sharing your platform, man. It was awesome. I love to break away and cut up and just get to have good conversation, man. And this was awesome. But to piggyback off of Coach Juwan, uh, it's about the children. It's about these kids, man. And you got that little boy, you got that little girl that shows an interest in sports. Let them go for it. Let them get out there. And let them take it on. It'll teach them so many more lessons in life than just between X's and O's or suicide. That it builds character. My dad is actually in the Clinton High School Hall of Fame. And, he was my coach in basketball. He was my coach in softball. And, apart from being a dad, the things that I learned, from him being a coach, coaching me and Coach Strick, I learned a lot of lessons in life, that got me to the places that I am. And it came from coaching. It came from those moments that you spend with your brother in the trenches and the guy that you go and you look to when you're out there on that field and you just want to get to that water pipe, and just take a drink of water. So it's about them kids, and we got to keep that at the forefront. Wins and wins and losses, and seasons are going to go on, and they're going to go on, and they're going to do more than just football. But we have to make sure that we keep them close and that we do not lose them in the curve. Um, so be supportive of them, love on them. When they mess up, love on them. When they are right, love on them, and just be a leader. Just let them know that you know through it all that we here. And we were young once too, and we still go through this life trying to figure things out as well. And just be a solid rock for them, man. Just be solid for the young people out here in your community.
Hey, yes, sir. Appreciate, man. Hey, first, let me say, man, I appreciate both you guys taking the time out your days to come on and talk with me. I mean, like I said, man, this is some of the best content I've had. Great conversation. Definitely gonna have to try to hook up again in the future. Um, but just want to say thank you for the bottom of my heart, man, to coming on. For all my listeners, man, appreciate all the support. Hit a small milestone, but all milestones are worth celebrating. Over 1,000 followers now. Bus Sweet Sports
Congrats, bro.
Podcast. So man, I appreciate all the support. Um, Hopefully, like I said, 2024 got some big plans. Continue to follow the page, support these schools, support these student athletes. Um, Shout out to Miss Tamika back in the studio. Hey, look, I'm sorry, probably went over my time.
Sorry, Mr.
I
Baker.
hope we
All right,
can work
Mr.
it
Baker.
out. Hope we can work it out. But I mean, this is great content, man. Two great minds, great conversation. Um, Once again, if you haven't already done so, man, swing by 810 Studios. Man, support these people, man. They're making some great content. Shout out to Zenny and the Broke Ass Podcast. Sorry I couldn't come on this week with you guys, man, but hopefully we'll come up with some in the future. Yeah, swing by 810 Studios, give them a like, share, follow, check out all the content. You're gonna find something that you like, man. They got sports, they got talk, they got gospel, they got music, anything you wanna, they got over there. So please support the page. Once again, man, I want to thank you guys for coming on. For everyone else, man, I hope you guys have a blessed week, and appreciate y'all listening in.